Let's talk of peace. Sounds so cliche. A novelty, catchphrase of the day. A middle index, sign of the time. And just as complex as water too. Someone said give peace a chance, and that's all there was said. On the fence, pretending our odds are in the right place, but your face shows a trace of hypocrisy. Alright guys, let's get it started. In the last 3 years, open-mindedness has become quite the cliche in the spiritual community, as even the spiritual community has been caught up in things like cancel culture, where the woke end up being against things rather than for things. But if we really want to be open-minded, we need to follow this powerful teaching I find best phrased by Wayne Dyer when he talks about finding a way to be able to be for things rather than against things. As we know, where the focus goes is what grows. And when we are constantly thinking about what we're against, we are literally marinating in low vibrational energy. As where if we can transmute that into what we're for and before whatever the healthy alternative is to what we see the problem is, that allows us to raise not just our own vibration, but the vibration of everyone else around us. And therefore, because most of us, when we're against things, it's through some form of activism we see as necessary for planetary change. But that's not actually helping all of the people that have achieved the greatest change on this earth. We're for things, not against things. When we do this, this neuroplasticity allows us to do things like not care what other people think about us. And not just that, but not care to change what other people think about us, because we have the confidence in what we think about us, because we have the low anxiety, because we have the calm nervous system, that we can just be for things rather than worried about other people caring about what we're doing at all, and therefore be that much more expanded in consciousness and open-minded. And there's a reason why nervous system, the nervous system in general, has been more of a popular subject matter in teaching in the spiritual community in the last 3 years, as anxiety has risen due to all of the stuff that's gone on in the last 3 years, including cancel culture. Because especially the brain being the command center of the nervous system, which most people don't think about when they think about the nervous system, really. The brain training is what allows us to actually open our minds, and having a calm nervous system, sort of vice versa, as, again, these systems that feed each other, where, sort of chicken and egg, it's hard to tell where one begins and one ends. When we work with our nervous system, we help open our minds, and when we do our brain training, we help our nervous systems. So if we really want to be open-minded, we need to learn to be for things rather than against things. And don't get me wrong, this is not my natural inclination, especially as the way they put it in Human Design is that my motivation is guilt. But what that really means in translation is that I recognize what's not working so that I can help people figure out what will work. And so I can help myself figure out what will work by identifying what's not working. But this makes it more natural for me to recognize what I'm against rather than be for things in a natural way. So even I have to work on these things on a regular basis, reframing my mind towards what I am for rather than what I'm against. And each and every one of us can do this. And it's part of our sacred mission as beings that are part of Source, deepening our connection to the Source part of us outside of us, and helping us raise our vibration as we expand into this 5D consciousness, expand into the Aquarian age, so that we can actually fix some of the things that we see are the problems happening around us and within us. Because if we recognize it outside of us, there's part of us inside of us that needs to work on that too, as much as we don't always love to admit it. So when we can learn to greet each moment with not just the polarity ends of the spectrum, but multiple perspectives, what our first instinct is, what the opposite of that is, and then a few perspectives in between, we can start to actually expand our mind into open-mindedness and therefore open-heartedness, greeting each moment with not just being for or against things, but the multitude of perspectives in between that will actually allow us to have the neural plasticity to have spiritual levels of consciousness and have a nervous system that is primed and ready to face anything that the day might bring us. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me for another video. Don't forget to do the like, subscribe, notification bell, comment thing, not just for me, but all of your favorite YouTube creators, because if you want one free way to, and it's not really free if you think about it, because you are giving back through reciprocity and the spiritual law of abundance. If you want a way to engage with the law of abundance today, that is a great way to do so that requires minimal energy, I guess is what I should say. Because minimal energy is a better way of describing it than free, because time is our greatest resource and it does take time for us to do these things. Anyway, my PSA for the day. Thank you all. May the energies you serve you well. Let's keep making our way through, and I'll see you in the next one.